Okay, so I'm going to finish the background on this page of Doc Salem. I've sped up the video this time. I can't have a 2-hour video, that's crazy. Anyway, so right now we're doing boxes. I'm still using my extra fine Sharpie pen filled with PH Martin black ink, India ink. I do that a lot because I like the felt tip of that pen. I just can't stand the ink; it's just not dark enough. So there's nothing wrong with hacking a pen, I guess. And if you notice, I don't always do solid blacks. I do have a great love for solid black, like spot blacks, but I also like striation lines. What I call is what I'm doing to blend my blacks. I call it spaghetti lines, where it's not quite cross-hatching, but it's also not quite well, it's spaghetti lines. It's wavy vertical lines and horizontal lines that I use to go ahead and do my stuff. So, and then I also like to stress out the boxes. I mean, Salem just crashed into them, so they have to look like they've taken on some damage. I also use thicker pens that I fill with PH Martin ink. You always, whenever, I'm not an inker, I'm a penciler. But I figured whenever you're doing a page, it always looks nicer when your inks, your blacks match each other. Not all blacks are the same inks, but that doesn't mean that you have to not use a pen because the inks don't match. You can always use the pen until the ink runs out and then go back and fill it with whatever ink you like. Moving really quick. Alright. Wish I really moved that quick in real life. Throwing in some spot blacks here. In this issue of Doc Salem Monster Hunter, he's confronting Dagon, Lord of the Sea, or Demon of the Sea. It's a new series. Hopefully it'll be out soon. I'm going to be looking for a publisher. Also, if you're wondering about the yellow tape on my pen, I used to do that to mark which ones were reloaded with my PH Martin inks, and which ones haven't been done up yet. A lot of guys they swear by inking with a brush or inking with a quill or whatever. I don't see anything wrong with using both. You can use a pen, brush, whatever. It doesn't matter. Whatever gets the job done. And it doesn't have to be complicated. Simplicity is the key. All that matters is the finished product. Okay, so right here, I'm using something called PH Martin Draftman's White. It's kind of expensive. It runs around 10 to 11 bucks a bottle, but nothing bleeds through it, and it covers everything, and it's really thin. I also like to put a marble inside of there to go ahead and keep it separated. So right before I use it, I shake it, agitate it a little bit, and then go ahead and put it into a tray. So right now, and in the tray, getting a quill, because I like to use a brush when it comes to this. Fine point. Okay. what I do is I put a border around the character in the background. Because sometimes your background gets super, super busy. And you want to separate your character from it to kind of have him poke out a little bit. It's a technique that Arthur Adams used to use a lot. And I'm a huge fan of Arthur Adams as well. You do want your character anchored to your background a little bit, but there's nothing wrong with separating them a little bit too. See how much nicer that looks? There we go. Yes. All right. Also, I want to make people aware I do have a Patreon. Every little bit helps to keep me creating. I give away a lot of free stuff to supporters of my Patreon. So if you look me up, Preston Asevedo on Patreon. I'm easy to find and always looking for backers. Okay, so this other panel. If you notice, I always do my characters first. Why? I don't know. I think doing backgrounds may be the most boring thing there is out there. So it helps to get your characters out of the way, get all the good stuff before you get downtrodden by having to do all these backgrounds. Kind of lose your edge a little bit. And I don't really have anything against backgrounds. I actually like doing big cityscapes and futuristic cities and stuff like that. Even jungle scenes. I've recently done a job for Antarctic Press for their Jungle Comics line, and it's written by Chuck Dixon. I was kind of intimidated at first because I never did a jungle scene throughout a whole book before. But it turned out pretty good. Really enjoyed it. Okay, take an extended break and blah, 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 blah. You can also check me out on Facebook, The Art of Preston Asevedo on Facebook. Twitter, at Nikki the Pipe. And Instagram, Preston Asevedo on Instagram, where you can check out all of my latest work. Offers and different things like that, I guess. Okay. Wow. I wonder what I'm doing. Okay. Back to the backgrounds. The boxes. Tell you what, let's quick step through this. Okay, so back to shadowing again. Okay, you always want to anchor. Use your shadows as anchors whenever you're doing complicated things like this. Even though it's just boxes, it is kind of complicated because it'd be really easy to go ahead and make it look like none of it makes sense by putting your shadows in the wrong spots. Don't really worry about the blacks running into each other either. Everything will separate itself out if it's done right. Everything's important when you're doing comics. If you see, I've already put a separation line between the shadow and the character right there to help separate them from the backgrounds. Alright. Okay, dropping a little spot black in there. Go back with the spaghetti line technique. Let's go ahead and what you want to do is start out with a tight group of lines and gradually let them spread out. This has to be the most boring video ever. I'm still getting used to this crap, so you gotta be patient. Just gotta be patient. Okay, you can kind of see how everything's starting to come together a little bit. And I think it's the inker's job to know when to do stuff like this, because sometimes the penciler isn't correct. Like if you notice, my pencils don't actually match up with what I'm doing with inks, and it could be confusing, but I think that's the inker's job to go and decipher that and do what he thinks would work best. That's why an inker has to be an artist. Alright, stress lines on some of these boxes. Yeah, I seem to be doing something off panel, like an idiot. Alright, there we go. So now you can kind of see how everything flows. If you notice what it looks like, Dagon's about to stomp Doc Salem to death. The boxes actually lead to the next panel. It kind of pulls your eye over. Okay, doing action lines, speed lines. Always want to use a ruler. Okay, there we go. Come on, dude. Come on, you can do this. Come on. Looks like I'm starting backwards too, working from the last panel to the first. To be honest, I started at the first panel with the characters themselves. Okay, we can move quicker than this. Let's go. It's actually sped up like 1,000 times. There we go. Always wipe your ruler. I don't know if you noticed, but I put a little ink smudge on the page just now. And if your ruler doesn't have an ink ledge, always buy clear rulers too. Turn the ruler over, and usually that'll fix that problem. Notice my nails are stained black thanks to ink and paint and blah blah blah. Okay. Well, okay. Tell you what. I'm going to turn this off for a sec so we get something juicy. Okay, so now we got the boxes outlined. I'm going to give some more shading. I said, no, we're going to anchor. Use your shading to anchor. Serves actually a couple of things. One, to go ahead and make your artwork fuller. Two, then to anchor your work itself. That sounds weird, but you'll okay. Separation line. Using my Pentel brush pen to go ahead and put some solids in there. Okay. Next panel. Almost the next panel. Oops. So back to doing the goddamn boxes. Alright, so you want to go ahead and you want to put as much reality as you can into the artwork. What I mean by that is putting labels on the boxes, stuff like that, striations, wear and tear, flaps. Just doing a plain box just isn't gonna cut it. It's got to be interesting. Even the boxes in the background have to be interesting. And I just want to point out that I did have the roof X'd out to go ahead and be for spot blacks, marked for spot blacks. But in the end, I decided it wasn't going to be a good idea because it would throw the balance off. But I didn't realize that until I had everything already outlined. See, that's the key, is you want to have everything outlined and ready to go before you start dropping stuff in like that. Okay, so now to keep everything in frame would be awesome. Okay, using my Pentel brush pen to go ahead and put in the spot blacks underneath the shelving. Okay, cool. See how much richer and thicker it's looking. It's giving the artwork meat. Alright. It's always good to step back and take a look at your page to make sure everything's flowing correctly. Too many times you get caught up into doing one panel, and when you take a look at everything else, you're like, uh-oh, this doesn't match anything else that's going on this page. I want to thank everybody for watching the video, and do keep in mind I do have a Patreon. It's Preston Asevedo on Patreon. That's Asevedo. You can look me up on Instagram. It's Preston Asevedo on Instagram, Autumn Preston Asevedo on Facebook. And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to comment below. Also, make sure you subscribe to keep up with the latest updates on my channel. Put some textured lines on the boxes. It's all about the boxes. Okay, well, okay. Thank you guys for tuning in. And I will have newer videos coming up shortly. Thank you, and bye-bye.